Automatization, or how to get rid of PvE in your wipes. PvE somehow goes side by side with us throughout the game, and while we can't escape resource farming, we can automate the PvE aspects in our base. That's why today we will be exploring automatization. This mechanism will be presented in order, there will be 6 of them. Automatic resource delivery to TC, auto-crafting, automatic locker filling, automatic smelting, automatic lighting, rate notifications, turret trigger notifications. And today we will consider how to create each of these mechanisms as well as touch on basic electricity. I will write down timings for you, and if you knew something you could just skip this part. We will start with the basics, and here we will break down how the most frequently used elements work. Switch has power input and output, and it passes electricity through only when it's turned on. Smart switch is the same stuff with the previous one, but also you can turn it off and on using your phone. Switch end allows to pass electricity only when both inputs are powered. Switch OR allows electricity to pass from one input or the other, and preferably from an input with a high electricity value. Timer switch has a side input, output and a power input. We can set the time, and when we turn it on, it will turn off in a second. Blocker has an input, output as well as an input from the side. When electricity is applied to the side input, it will not release electricity from the output. Power combinator has 2 inputs, and it multiplies the electricity at the output. Splitter has 1 input and 3 outputs, and it divides the electricity at the outputs into exactly same 3 parts. The second type of splitter has 2 outputs, left and right. We can set the electricity that will be at the left output, and the rest will go to the right output. Igniter has only an input, and when we power it, it fires everything nearby. It can be used for automatic smelting and can also set fire to bean can grenades and satchel charges. Electric heater gives you comfort and warmth when it's powered. It is imbalanced thin when you live in a winter or you need to make a farm in a winter. Smart alarm. We can name it, add a message, connect it to the Rust Plus, and when it is powered, it will send us a message on our phone. Door controller could be placed on the door, and it has an input as well as an input for the closing and opening. Also it has a pass-through output. When we power in the input, we'll open the door and close the door if we turn on the electricity. Автоподхитка ресурсов шкаф. For it we need 2 storage adapters, and we put them on the TC and the chest. We also need an industrial conveyor, and we need to power it. And now we'll set the filters: wood, stones, metal, and high quality metal. Now we take the pipe wrench and connect the storage adapter on a chest with the industrial conveyor. After we connect the conveyor with our TC. And now resources from the chest go to TC. We can see how it transfers. And if you need empty slots in your TC, here in the first line add the amount you want to be in the TC, for example 1000, and let's see is it work. And let's see does it work. Let's help it a little bit. And as we see, not more than 1000 in our TC. Autocrafting. To make it we need 2 conveyors, 2 chests, 2 storage adapters, workbench, industrial assembler. We need to power conveyors and assembler. Now, output from the assembler we connect to the left conveyor, and conveyor we connect to the chest. Input of the assembler we connect to the other conveyor, and conveyor itself we connect to the second chest. After that, on conveyor we set in filters, metal, fuel, gunpowder, and cloth, because we make the system which would make the bullets and syringes. Due to that, on the other conveyor we set in a filter, bullets and syringe. Now we need blueprints of the stuff we will make, which we will put in the first line of assembler. Now we are ready to put the blueprints, and the blueprints that is in the first place will be crafted. And when we would run out of resources which are required to craft the first blueprint, it will craft stuff using the second one. Turn the assembler on and conveyor with the resources. Now we have resources in our assembler and it started crafting, and after that we turned on the second conveyor. Syringes went to the second chest. We can make the system larger by using larger chests. And if we need other stuff to be crafted, we add here the resources which are required to craft it. Now let's see what will happen if we run out of fuel. It started making bullets. Automatic locker filling. To make it we need 7 storage adapters, 1 chest and 2 lockers. If you need more lockers, add 3 adapters for each locker. And of course we need conveyor, which we connect to the first adapter, and after that, one by one we connect all adapters. After that we connect our chest to the conveyor. In the chest we put stuff to fill the lockers. Here we set filters. Just repeat after me. Also don't forget to set your gun and ammo in filters. After, we set the limits of stuff in one line of our locker. Now we need to power it. Conveyor started working, and we see the chest is halfly empty. And as we see, lockers are filled now. And if you change your set of armor, you need to add it here. Automatic smelting. To make it we need 2 chests, 2 conveyors, 2 storage adapters, and we need furnaces and adapters to them. Also, I strongly recommend to put here the igniter. Power each conveyor. And after that the right conveyor we connect to the furnaces one by one. Now we connect everything. We need to connect conveyor to the chest. In that chest we put resources. Output of the last adapter we connect to the second conveyor, which we connect to the second chest, in which resources would vent after melting. Here we set in filters ore and wood. In that conveyor we set melted resources and charcoal. When we turn it on, resources from the chest vent to the furnaces. Now we need to power our igniter. And with the one button we can fire up the furnaces. Also we can use button instead of switch. As we see, it is working. Automatic lighting. To make it we need lamps as much as we need, and blocker. And we need to power it up. Now it is on. Also we need to connect blocker to the solar panel. After doing this, the light will turn off, because if the solar panel gives at least one energy point, blocker will block the way of electricity to the lamp from the battery. Turret trigger notifications. To make it we need turrets, smart alarm and battery. Output named as target, we connect to the alarm. Here we set the name of alarm and message it will send. Now we need to deauthorize from the turret, and if it will trigger on me, it sends the message. RAID notifications. RAID notification, we can make it using the seismic shift. Here we set 30, and if your base is bigger than 30 meters in radius, you can hang forth it on each wall of the base. It is even better because you can understand from which side you are getting raided. Output, we connect to the alarm, and if something will explode in radius, it will send us the message. For example, grenade. And it, as we see, is sending the message. That's all, and in the end, I'll just ask you to watch the trailer of my server. You can find the IP under the video.